It's like they always say, life's a witch and then you cry.
Ash, I don't think that is the saying.
No, it definitely is. It's like life is constantly casting black magic and curses and awful hexes on you, and it's upsetting. What else would it be? And as life imitates art, video games follow suit with some seriously unfair tricks up their protective sleeve. Bosses are some of the worst offenders here, armed with a kind of rage-inducing moves that just feel like they shouldn't be allowed. For instance, it is totally fine for me to shower myself in healing potions, but if God of War's The Stranger pops his health back up to full just as I'm about to punch him back to Asgard...
No, not fair. Should not be allowed.
Unfortunately, that is not the only boss move that feels like outright cheating, despite being a part of their mechanics. For the purposes of this list, I guess it's only fair to give the saying a little video game revamp.
Life's a glitch and then you cry. Right, I might have already mentioned the whole healing dealio, but holy moly am I not finished complaining about it.
The point of bosses is that they're big and scary. They can do things normal enemies can't. They're a force to be reckoned with, a test of skill and composure that builds into a choreographed dance. A carefully constructed trial to see if you're ready for the next part of the game.
And then they go and pop some health potion like some sort of heathen. Heathen.
Look, right, I earned the right to my cachet of 99 flasks when I spent the last 3 hours killing off NPCs and helping myself to all the stuff in their houses. Where did you get yours? Did you kill the alchemist and raid the apothecary for some fair and square goodies? I don't think so. Come and fight the proper way. Me armed with literally every single rock, herb and elixir I can find, and you stuck behind a boulder as I employ a cheesy strategy that means I take no damage.
None of this healing nonsense. You're a boss, not a starfish regrowing its limbs.
Everyone goes through phases. It's a natural part of life.
Like when I was 18 and I got my mum to straighten my hair every morning so it was nice and flicky and lustrous, like a JRPG hero.
We all go through phases, but we grow out of them. We mature. We move on. And in my case, we go bald. Video game bosses, on the other hand, love a phase. Second phases, third phases. Ha, thought you killed me, but now I'm back for a seventh phase phases. You know, I'm sick and tired of battering a boss down to its last scrap of health, only for it to rise like a particularly unpleasant phoenix with all its skin turned inside out and wielding a new mega weapon strong enough to turn me into sludge with a single hit. You think you've killed a boss, and lo and behold, that's not even its final form. Seemingly killing it is just a catalyst for it to come back bigger and badder, full of rage from all the damage you've dealt, and ready to inflict it back upon you.
Basically, I just think bosses are bad losers. Not like me.
If there's anything I've learned from looking back at pictures of me with a fringe like a budget school Leonhardt, it's that phases are nothing to be proud of.
Oh, just grow up, would you?
I can barely think of a moment as perfectly tense as when you've built up a stagger bar through combat and you're ready to unleash the special move that will bring a boss down to its knees.
And then, much like me here on your screen, a cutscene starts playing just as you're about to drop said special move. Whoops.
It's a little frustrating, sure, but no worries, you think. I'll just bust this move out as soon as the cutscene ends and take this boss down.
Interesting thought, voiceover Ash, but I don't think so.
Because the cutscene has magically erased all your hard-earned progress. No! All the effort I've just spent filling up that enormous stagger meter undone? I know this is just unfortunate timing, but it feels like the boss has done this on purpose, doesn't it? It's like the boss equivalent of when us protagonists drink a bunch of health potions from the pause menu.
I hate it when you drink potions from the pause menu!
Now let me tell you, there's one thing I cannot stand. Well, no, there are many things I cannot stand, but in the context of this video, there is one thing I cannot stand.
Good job, I am sitting down then.
Is there anything quite as annoying as a boss with friends? A boss that calls upon its little minion mates to pulverise you while it sits back, attacking from a safe distance. A boss that can't fend for itself like a little coward. I'm looking at you, Rom, the cowardly spider.
Seeing a boss calling in ads, as we like to call them in Gamerland, is the same thing as that boss wearing a big shiny badge with Craven Fool written all over it.
We come to the arena to fight one-on-one with a brutal boss that should prove intimidating in its own right, and it's summoning all sorts of tiny, annoying little monsters to do the fighting for it, bringing out waves of pathetic beasties that are all out for your blood while you're trying to battle a boss that picked the dang fight with you in the first place. Yes, they work as distractions that get in the way while you're trying to manage battering the big bad. But at what cost, really?
Honestly, it's just a little bit embarrassing, isn't it?
Is there anything more upsetting than having to deal with the same problem over and over again?
Doing the laundry, popping a spot that keeps coming back, cleaning up Rob's collection of half-empty bottles on his desk.
All things as inevitable as time itself.
And some bosses are exactly the same. Take a look at Dr. M or Dr. Eggman, for example. Both bosses who should know better with their degrees and all, they just love coming back for another round of beating despite getting smashed up the first time. William Birkin's mantra of eat, sleep, mutate, fight, run off, repeat in the face of annihilation might be impressive, but it transcends the rules of boss battling itself. I consider every fight a battle to the death, dearest viewer, so make of that what you will. And let me get the satisfaction of finishing my enemies off in one sitting. None of this chase me business. None of this hiding out until they come back like game to try and prove something. Unless they've got a necromancer, this should be a one and done encounter when I've bodied the boss. At least give me a loyalty card if you're going to keep coming back.
Ooh, fifth fight earns a free drink.
There's one boss move on this list that we can't really get mad about it because if we're honest, it's something we'd all do if we had the option.
Bosses that become invulnerable, that simply accept no more damage. Bosses that harden over like a chitinous bug and deflect whatever bullets, blades and bludgeons you throw at them as if they're made of paper. It's the ultimate move, whether they're locked in a vicious animation set to tear you apart like God of War's Sigrun, no interruptions, that would be rude, or they're simply untouchable until you figure out a way through their armour, like Horizon Forbidden West's Eric. When a boss activates what I like to call you can't touch this mode, there's nothing you can do but wait until it's finished.
And that is exactly why it should not be allowed.
It's one thing when a boss is so tough that chipping away at their health bar feels like punching through 6 feet of concrete, and entirely another when it's actually impossible. You gotta give us a chance here. It's like the boss has been given access to a bunch of cheat codes. And like everything else on this list, that's fine for us, but not for you, boss. Not for you.
Just when you thought you'd seen the last of me, here I am, back for another entry. You didn't think you'd get rid of me that easily, did you?
No, and I'm here to talk about a little thing called humility, which it would do well to those lesser bosses out there to learn a bit about. Especially when you absolutely leather one and they come back straight away with a bunch of sass about how much stronger they are than you. Looking at you, Beatrix, in Final Fantasy IX, essentially ignoring all the hard work you've put in until that point.
I am very strong and powerful, and you will address me as such.
When you've gotten yourself all worked up and ready to see a boss on their knees begging for mercy, it's ego insult to battle injury when they simply begin a monologue about their power, despite the protagonist unequivocally proving the opposite in the fight they've just gotten through 30 seconds ago.
Just give me the "what have you done" speech and let me revel in my hard-earned victory.
Oh, that's a weight off. And there are 7 boss moves that absolutely, positively, unquestionably should be banned and removed. Only we are allowed to be badasses. What boss moves would you add to this list? Remember, it is all in good fun. Let us know in the comments below. This has been PlayStation Access. Don't forget to subscribe to stay notified, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.